2019. I am a poor SuttySmash. Gotta say, a put together tree with a big gap in the middle that I didn't see when I was standing up because I'm looking at it at a downward angle. So I'm like, oh yeah, that looks perfect.
You got to do it from sitting down.
But, you know,
looks like Charlie Brown shit all over your tree.
It really does. The bottom looks okay. Then when you get to like right there, right in that area, it's like, oh, whole bunch of shit. Oh man, but yeah, Bloody, how are you, man?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Hey, remember when I said I took notes?
Yeah.
There they are. Baby's got them.
I have his Wikipedia page open, but
that's all right. I got a lot of my brain.
There you go. I'm going to probably let you do most of the talking on that. And I will ask subtle questions that we'll have to look up in real time.
Good.
How could this go any other way?
That's the kind of production that we put on.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't put this together in the last 15 minutes at all.
I shaved my mustache a little bit, though, so there's that.
Did you? That's good. You're not losing a whole bunch of stuff. I have not. And but I have a very itchy, whatever this is, that part of your lip. You know what I mean?
Middle, upper middle. I know what it is.
It's called a thing, though.
It's got a
thing.
the
name for it.
Base crevasse.
Mm-hmm. the upper lip perineum.
The crevassier.
You're so stupid. Hey everybody, welcome to the Bloody and Sutty show. I am SuttySmash. This is
Bloody the Elf. And welcome to the show for jackasses by jackasses.
Pew pew.
Got a good show to you today. We're going to start a 3-part mini-series. We should call it something. Quick, make up a name.
6.5 hours later.
Homicides for the Holidays.
I love it. This is our Homicide for the Holidays 3-part mini-series where we will go over the United States' most egregious serial killers. Not to be confused with serial thrillers. That's something different.
It is.
But yeah, we're going to go over so these will be the 3 biggest ones that will have the highest body counts. It's not necessarily the most famous, but it is the ones who killed the most.
Right.
Made the most murder.
Took the most out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They're really the ones who kind of shave that gene pool down just a little bit more.
And was it really for the worst? I mean, it was terrible what the things. But you know.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of those victims.
Let's show their pictures here. No. Not doing that.
Mm-mm.
Can I share with you briefly, off topic?
I would like for you to share with me deeply off topic. That's a nice Harkins cup you got there.
Dude, this is from 2016.
16.
The year of our Lord.
Yeah. I have so many years of those.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good. Here's a trick for those of you at home that are on a budget but have children or multiple people that are going to the movies. So you buy those, the novelty cups, right? Because they're what, dollar refills or something like that.
And they're only like an extra like 40 cents.
Yeah, they're cheap refills. You also get an extra large popcorn or a large popcorn, whatever the biggest size is, that you get the one refill for free.
Titan
So you put a
size.
popcorn right there, and then ask for a tray, one of those little tray like holder trays. Pour that whole bag right there in front of them, and then have them refill the bag right before you leave. So you basically have 2 bags of popcorn that you can split amongst. For me, it's 4 kids and 2 adults. And it's fucking perfect. So it is only $120 trip to the movies.
Dude, no, I was gonna say is the so I sent you a picture this week of some new beverages that I have purchased.
You did.
G Fuel, Black on Black Berry. This is the Dr. Disrespect one.
Yeah.
It's really good, and it smells really good. It smells like a delicious Pop-Tart. Makes your whole house smell nice.
Isn't it a pre-workout?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just know that it's got
all tingly, get the jitters.
Probably.
Feel like you yourself could climb to the tippy top of that mountain.
Who knows? I might just start doing push-ups in the middle of the show. I mean, I probably won't, but I might. And it's kind of expensive. It's like one little container of it is like $35. But it was Black Friday deal, so it was buy one get one free. So I'm like, all right, now I'll pull the trigger. So I got him and Roman Atwood's, which is like a Hawaiian flavor. This goes to Hawaii all the time.
That makes sense. That'll do it every time.
Roman Atwood is, of course, a large YouTuber that we compete with for viewers.
That we compete with?
Yeah, he
directly.
wins.
He wins every time. Here, let's move this over here.
He's got
I
a
tried G Fuel, but it didn't do anything for me. I drink Sneak. What's Sneak? I don't know what that is.
not FDA approved, I can tell you that. He's like, I import it from Russia.
That's that black market shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, have you seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
It's that.
That's what I drink.
That's exactly what I was thinking of too.
We're so good.
Mm-hmm.
We're so simpatico these last couple days.
I know, especially that ghost thing that you hit me with earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I was thinking you were thinking of the band.
So I was, Bloody and I were texting each other back and forth about the show.
As we do.
Oh God,
That's loud.
the baby pushed my coffee back into the power button, which also is right next to the volume button for the surround sound.
Oh,
So it's
she's like,
oh, just keep going up. Yeah,
to the tippy top.
that was loud. That was loud, baby. There you go. But anyway, Bloody was texting me about the show, and I was like, man, you know what? I love us. And he's like, ditto. And I was like, okay, Sam from Ghost. For those of you who are uncultured pieces of shit, Sam is Patrick Swayze's character in Ghost, who never says I love you to a bowl-cutted Demi Moore. He says a ditto every time. And Bloody was like, dude, I was just gonna send you back. I was thinking of that girl from Ghost. Oh my God, it's the same thing.
As I would thought you were talking about the band Ghost.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you're really cultured on Ghost. But it turns out that because we're in our 30s, we saw the movie Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Several times.
under 30 has probably seen it, I'm willing to bet. Chat, what say you?
Starring Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
That's
Her
so
character then is a good representation of her as a person now.
Yeah, it really is.
Slightly crazy. Thinks she's psychic.
G Fuel.
Hell yeah, dude. So the show show today, we will be talking about, I think, I got the reins there. She did it again.
She sure did. All right, moving the coffee to it down the side. Anyway, go ahead. I apologize.
Today we'll be talking about Theodore Robert Bundy.
That we will.
And that'll kick off the number 3 most heinous serial killer in America. And he's actually a little bit more well known.
He is. He actually just had that. He's had a few movies based on him, I think. He just had that one with what's his face in it. I'd tell you if I had my notes, but this one
wasn't there was one that came out a while ago. It was just called Bundy.
Yeah, this one has that guy from High School Musical in it, and I can't remember his name.
Are you thinking of My Friend Dahmer?
Nope, I'm thinking of like evil,
Extremely
vile.
wicked,
Yeah,
shockingly
that.
evil, and vile.
Yes, that's what the judge said to him when he was sentencing him. But yeah, Ted Bundy is nuts. So here's the thing, right? About both Bloody and myself is, well, me specifically, Bloody, you can chime in if you like. I've had a real deep interest for like what makes serial killers tick, like what happens in their brain to make them think that this stuff is either okay or normal or whatnot, and
Just what makes them tick.
yeah, and it's you're getting down now. All right.
So I'm
Good
gonna climb
choices,
the
I love
Christmas
you.
tree. I'll be right back.
Where you going, baby? I don't know what she's doing.
She's just out. So I'm going out.
She just headed out. But so I took a real deep interest in him when I was in like high school. Started doing research, which concerned my parents quite a bit because I had just books on serial killers and shit. And but yeah, man, Ted Bundy was intense, and that movie was pretty interesting because it didn't go too deep into his early life. It was just right when the killings started happening, and kind of kicked off from there. So it's actually a really, really well done movie. But what they didn't touch on was his early life. So he was born in 1947. And 6 was
November 24th, 1946.
Ooh, all right. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, he just had one.
Yep, just
Good for him.
And his mom was had him out of wedlock, and
Big deal back then.
Yeah, was a big deal. She was really ashamed of it, and she claims that it was some veteran from World War II that came back, and but there were also rumors that her very abusive father had raped her, and he was Ted Bundy was the product of that rape. Samuel Crowell, I think his name was.
Samwise Gamgee.
Samwise Gamgee.
The guy from Lord of the Rings. He was the one.
You, Samwise. Oh shit, Squirrel, that's your birthday? That's awesome.
That's awesome. Small world. That's the problem today. Just not enough dates.
But so from the time that he was born, his grandparents, so his mom Louise's parents, took him on and basically adopted him. And his mom Louise was, he believed to be his older sister for the longest time, which coincidentally Jack Nicholson had the same thing happen to him.
No shit.
Yep, fun fact.
Only he didn't kill a bunch of people that we know of.
God damn, everybody's having birthdays this year? Yeah, apparently. Squirrel, I fucking like you, man.
I like this guy. I like this squirrel.
So yeah, he was raised like that, and very similar upbringing to his mom. His grandpa was fairly abusive and whatnot. But what's odd is, as an adult, Ted Bundy said he connected really well with his grandfather. He's like, I understood him and I respected him, and like I could see where he was coming from and blah blah blah. So it's kind of a weird dynamic that they had. But from the time he was really young, he was really interested in the macabre and like death and I'm not sure if he did any of like torturing of little animals and shit, but he had a weird obsession with knives from the time he was like 5 or 6, and he'd play with those constantly. And as he got older, he was kind of a self. He was very introverted. Like he excluded himself from his peers until he hit college. So he graduated with a degree in psychology, and then got accepted into law school in Utah, which is around the time stuff started happening. He was living in Oregon, but going to school in Utah, and women happened to be disappearing right around those same areas that he was living in. And he was with this girl, I don't remember her name, and she's actually the one that called in the tip on him, because the
A wild Marie appears.
oh, there's Marie decorating the tree. Hi, babe. Say hi. Perfect timing. So, babe, Squirrel, I'm glad you like it. Babe, Schism played that the hair pulling clip that I had told you about just now, and you walked in. And he was like, perfect timing. But yeah. So a lot of the women looked like one of his ex-girlfriends from college. I think it was one that he was like super in love with. And I mean, Bloody, feel free to chime in here. I feel like I'm just plugging away.
No, you're gonna have to do most of the talking on this one.
Oh, okay. As he hit college, he started getting more confident about himself, like getting more active
As a man.
and as a man, like socially and politically, he was more involved. He had started getting into skiing. I think it was downhill skiing. Which actually, now that they say that, why would anybody do uphill skiing? You know?
Oh, I mean,
sounds like a pain in the ass.
You're gonna go down. Let's go right back on up there. Let's not break the mold. Just right back up. It's faster skiing up than it is to walk.
Is it though?
Mm-hmm.
I've tried going up on a snowboard, and I was significantly slower than I was walking.
That's just because you didn't lean into it, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you just gotta try harder.
Yeah. But he started killing a bunch of people. He had a lawyer. I mean, long story short, killed a bunch of women, raped them, killed them. Usually it was super violent. Like
Very aggressive. Yeah, he'd just beat him to death, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah. He would beat him to death, usually with some sort of blunt object. And yeah, it was fucking nuts. And in the end, during his trial, he got really cocky and really liked the media attention that he was getting. So he would do press conferences, and there was one famous clip where he tore up something that one of the other lawyers had, and he ended up getting rid of his own legal counsel and representing himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I read that.
He did a fairly decent job at it, and like clearly not good enough, but because he did end up getting convicted. But the judge said that it was a shame that he had wasted his life because it would have been interesting and rewarding and fulfilling to see him be a lawyer in his courtroom. So it was basically just shitting on his legacy, which I think was the worst to Ted Bundy, because that's what he wanted, was to leave a legacy. In the end, he ended up confessing to 30 murders.
It was 36, and then he is assumed to have killed around 100.
Yeah.
But he had confessed to 36.
Yeah. Fucking nuts, man. And
he was he was actually arrested twice, wasn't he?
Yeah. I don't remember what
The first one was for kidnapping. He did some time for that, got out, and then turns out not exactly what we would call
sound police work.
Nah, I was thinking more like the prison's supposed to like make you, what do you call that? Like not reformed, but what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Rehabilitated?
That's the one.
Thanks, Marie.
She's the best.
He
It's
is the
more along the lines of he just learned how to kill better. And then he killed probably like another 50 people.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, dude. Bundy was nuts.
He's a bad dude.
It was a bad dude.
So probably not one you would let babysit.
Typically, no. Especially, you know, college-age kids. But I mean, I guess they wouldn't need babysitting because they're college age. Never
You
mind.
don't have any college age kids, I guess.
That's fair.
They need them babysitters the worst.
But his story was particularly crazy because he really enjoyed the publicity of it all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where most people liked the fact that their the victims had been discovered. He relished in the fact in getting caught, and he thought he was smart enough to get away with it, and relished in the fact that he could rub America's noses in it via the media.
Mm-hmm.
And he was super charismatic. The way that people described him was a very charismatic, very handsome dude. Looking at pictures of him, it's like some low standards.
Shit, I'm better looking than he is. Just set that anywhere.
But he did downhill skiing, so I mean, it was because he was upper middle class. Yeah, he had that money.
He had that Luda money.
That Luda money. He's like, I have hundreds of dollars in the bank. Don't you worry about a thing.
I got this.
But yeah, man, it's the whole story is really nuts. And like, you and I were talking, so that's Ted Bundy. But as an aside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think neither of ours are coming up, right? No, because you listed the ones that we were doing. So I thought you were reading my mind. So Bloody and I are both into this topic. We both have been into it, and we both have favorite serial killers, I guess you could say. Like ones that their stories are the most interesting to us.
Yeah.
Not like we have their rookie cards from, but
I have his rookie card.
Yeah. Oh, Marie said action figures. Just like you guys act like you get action figures of these guys. And shameless plug.
Yep.
Squirrel says, I got $12 in the bank, girl. We can hit up that dollar menu and I'll even let you get 4 items.
Only 4 though. You cannot have 5.
Because taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the man. Uncle
Taxes
Sam's got to get
real.
his off mine McDouble.
Yeah. He's going to want that 90 cents. Sorry, 9 cents.
9 cents. Fucking... Oh, but yeah, we have our favorites. So mine isn't really a serial killer per se, like by definition. He was a hitman. He was a mafia hitman. He was the Iceman, Richard Kuklinski. And he killed, allegedly, a couple hundred people, is what he said.
But they were all bad.
But some of his stories were just fucking so intense, and watching him tell, because he told all the stories after he was in prison and arrested. He was a giant man, like a giant
big dude.
He was like 6'6" and 290 or 300 some odd pounds. He was a big man, so he's just scary in his presence. But then just how cold he was and how coldly he talked, which is why they called him, well, one of the reasons they called him the Iceman. He used to put bodies in an ice truck and then put them back out in the world. but yeah, hearing his stories, there was two that come to mind. One was around Christmas time, and he had a wife and some kids, and he was putting together some toys for his kids, and he got a call, little old ring-a-ding on the telephone, answered, and they were like, "Hey, you got to go get this dude right now. He's at this place. He owes so much money." So he's like, "All right." So he puts his kids' toys to the side that he was putting together, gets in his car, drives over, finds this dude, and is like, "Hey, you owe us this much money. Where is it? I know you have it." He's like, "No, I don't have it, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "You either give it to me now or I'm going to kill you and take it from you." And he's like, "I don't have it." So he kills him, pulls a swat of money out of his pocket, and there was a shit ton. Only pulls out what he owed.
And left the rest.
Puts the rest back, pockets the money, drives back home, continues putting the rest of his toys together for his kids for Christmas. And then the other one, the one that he even was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that," was there was a guy that he sent to kill. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his job.
As one does.
Yes, as one is wont to do. He went in, and the guy was begging for his life. He's like, and he's crying and begging, and was like, "Oh, please God, blah blah blah." And he was like, "I'll tell you what, because you're so religious, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes. You pray as hard as you can, and if God stops me, I won't kill you." And so he's like, and I waited there for 15 minutes, and he was just praying, and I was just looking at my watch, and then 15 minutes was up, and I was like, boom. And I was like, at the end, he's like, "Yeah, I kind of felt bad about that."
I kind of felt bad about that one.
That was kind of a dick move. I was like, wow.
Dick move.
He didn't say a dick move. I'm
Paraphrasing.
but
It's
that's
what he
pretty much
implied.
what he said. Yeah. I'm like, man.
Ice cold.
But yeah, that's that guy, Richard Kuklinski. There's an HBO documentary on him that
I've seen
I'm
it. It's
actually
really good.
Paraphrasing from, and it's phenomenal. It's old now, but it's very, very well done. So if you have the opportunity to do so, you should definitely check it out. It's so good. But yeah, yours.
Mine is my favorite serial killer, because we all have one, is
That's a normal thing to have, right?
uh-huh. It's from the early 1900s, the Brooklyn vampire himself, Albert Fish. And he was a monster. Like, he not only raped and killed children, but then he ate them.
Jesus.
And after he got caught, I don't remember how he got caught. I didn't do any brush up, but I remember one of the things that he did after he was like in prison was sent a letter to his last victim's parents about how tasty their daughter was. And I'm like, wow. And of course, he ate her butt, and it was. He talked about it, and it was the thing that kind of made the most like he talked about it, and was the thing that was just like, because he was kind of old by then, like elderly, and he used the word ass a lot. I'm like, that's weird for somebody of that time and of that age. But he was like, when I tasted her ass, I'm like,
it's like, yeah.
Today that would mean something totally different, but quite literally for him.
Yeah, time traveled from 1993 backwoods Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we were talking about Ted Bundy a second ago? Wasn't he like one of the last people to get the chair? Do you remember reading that?
I don't remember. Maybe, mayhaps. I can't remember.
That's worth a quick Google. No, he was definitely got the electric chair.
What's crazy to me, right, about like murders or killings that were done back in Fish's time, where it was real easy to get away with murder back then.
Pump the brakes. What'd you say your favorite serial killer's name was again?
Richard Kuklinski.
Ah, shit. It was Robert Gleason.
Oh. Not the same. But yeah, murder back then was real easy to get away with because they didn't have DNA. It was just kind of like, hey, did anybody see anything? Nope. Ah, he got away again. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as one does.
Well, that was even until recently, man. To like the 60s, 70s, when DNA started being used readily.
That was like the mid 80s, dude. Like it was
it?
not that long ago.
I remember we were watching one of those true crime things on the ID channel because Marie loves those things, and I'm convinced now that Marie loves them because it just gives her options, like a number of options of how to get rid of my body and what not to do.
She's smart.
Or when she inevitably murders me.
That's just a chick thing in general. All of them are obsessed with murder and how to get away with it.
Right?
This is another reason for us to go gay. Because I'm not planning on killing you.
I would never kill you.
See? Soulmates.
A thing from like 60s or 70s where it was the killer had murdered somebody and then like there's blood all over the walls and he like masturbated into her underwear and stuff. They're like, well, this is useless. It's
just
like,
throw that out. wait, maybe
Spray it
not.
all down with bleach. Yeah.
I mean, it already smelled like Clorox.
That already smelled like a public pool. Oh my god. We're the worst. We're the worst people. We're the worst people.
That's
ever.
a bold statement. I mean, we're probably
we're
top 100, but not the worst.
Ah, shit. But yeah, man. Fucking, those are ours.
What?
Honorable mentions. Or dishonorable mentions. Let's not give them the glamour of honorability.
Sure.
Dishonorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Kuklinski and
Albert Fish.
Albert
Fish wasn't an American serial killer. That was like in Europe somewhere. I think.
Well, you done. Oh, yeah.
No. He was in Brooklyn. Yeah.
You're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
We're good here.
Yeah, no problems.
So this week in dumb.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go with mine first, real quick.
Okay.
This week in New Zealand.
Oh,
Fucking the very first HIV positive sperm bank was opened. So it is a sperm bank where people who are HIV positive can go just release their viral loads.
Can they like clean it?
Well, they have to get tested, right? And it just seems like
To make sure they have it?
Yeah, well, it seems like it's
So your sperm's clean. Get the hell out of here.
Don't you ever come back.
Come back here.
But
until you get the HIV. Then come on back.
They only accept donations from people who have it, but not so much to where they can transmit it via childbirth or artificial insemination.
So they just have a little HIV.
It's a very niche thing, you know. And it seems odd that you opened up an entire fucking sperm bank for it, but they did, and it is, and they have 3 donors so far. It just seems so weird. It seems like that's a half-cocked idea. Like, don't do that. Maybe that's not the best idea. But I'm not a doctor.
Best friend of the show, Darth Swole, says, I mean, supposedly a research group just found a cure for HIV/AIDS recently, so that'll be a short-lived business venture.
Well, there you go. So don't
Suck it, New Zealanders.
They can get rid of Magic Johnson's single aid.
Yeah. They can take their sperm and just go right back and put another shrimp on the Barbie, you fucking New Zealand pieces of shit.
That's Australia.
Same. It's all the same.
They hate that. They hate that when you mix us up.
Listen, if you can tell one from the other, I'll give you $300 right now.
Okay. Done.
Nope. I guess I'll PayPal you then.
Squirrel says that's one of those things you can't have a little of. HIV just isn't a little of.
A smidgen.
Just a touch.
A dusting of AIDS. Just a single aid.
Christ.
So they probably just harvested cells from magic. Let's be real.
Yeah, obviously. Jesus.
That's funny. All right, so I got one here. So anti-vaxxer parents don't want their kids to be bitten by vampires, Russian ad campaign suggests.
What the fuck?
Here's a couple of things on this one. So first off, it's ridiculous anyway,
There are a couple.
Okay, so Jenny McCarthy's dumb ass has made it clear to like Russia now.
Somehow.
How has this happened? What?
I don't know. I don't understand it, man. I don't get the whole anti-vax thing or the flat Earth thing. Like, there are some people that I know that have done that. Like, well, not so much the anti-vax thing, but the flat Earth thing. And I'm like, I used to respect you in your opinion once upon a time. I don't anymore now. But
Swall says that's reasonable. Do you want to be bitten by a vampire? I don't.
Nobody does. And yeah, that story, just that headline had that was an emotional roller coaster. It's like anti-vaxxers don't want to be bitten by a vampire. It's like, what? It's like, I don't want to be bitten by vampires either. But maybe here's the thing. If you're bitten by vampires, their their fangs and their bacteria give you the antibodies already, so it's like getting vaccinated. So that's probably why they don't want it so bad.
They're very stupid.
Mm-hmm. They are. They are very much that. Oh, man.
Next up. This one comes from the great land of Europe. Woman fined for being too short to put her rubbish into the bin.
That's unfortunate.
I just thought it was really funny. She was... This is going to be in metric, so... Oh no, she's just 4 feet tall. But she wasn't tall enough to put... Oh, she's a little person.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
We said she's 4 feet, I figured that.
Well, I mean, like, officially. Like, with the small hands and the smells like cabbage.
Why do they all smell like cabbage?
I don't know. I'm not a little person.
Because they're fresh from the Cabbage Patch. You ever notice how the Cabbage Patch Kids did look just like tiny people? With their little nub fingers and stuff. Do you remember Cabbage Patch Kids?
I do remember Cabbage Patch. A little cabbagey.
They had the big faces and the little...
Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
He is dead. He's super dead.
Did he drink himself to death?
Probably.
That's sad.
He had 3.5 beers. That was it.
Yep, he's dead.
For him.
All right. He lived a short life, says Swall.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
That is funny.
That week in dumb.
Boop-a-boo.
All right, man. You want to do a little of the game?
I do.
That's what Swall's here for. We know that.
You
know that.
We do. So we're doing the Rotten Tomatoes game now. So the Rotten Tomatoes game is I'm gonna take a shot at the rules.
I would love for you to do it once. One time.
So for those of you that are new to the Bloody and Sutty show, at the end of the show we like to do Rotten Tomatoes game, which is where there is a host. Bloody is the host this time, and they choose 5 movies where the player, me, has to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score, like the critics score, and it's on a scale of 0 to 100. And let's say that I guess, so we'll say Gone in 60 Seconds because it's the easiest one. I would say that is a 75%.
That'd be a reasonable guess.
The critics score rated as 25%, so I now have 50 points because it is the difference from my guess to the critics score. You want to keep your score as low as possible. If you happen to guess the exact percentage of the critic's score, then you deduct 5 points from your total score. So the goal is to be as close to 0 or negative as possible. And we like to usually stick to themes on these. So this time, Bloody, what is the theme of your movies?
Serial killer movies. Hi, Kilo. Did you come for the game too? Good girl.
Oh, Kilo the dog.
He's so stupid. All right. All right, go on. Go be a good dog. Go lay down. She did it. She went away.
No way. What a good listener.
I know. Sometimes I think they speak English. We all know they dogs speak French. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing serial killer movies. Are you ready for your first film? Friends at home, are you ready for your first film?
Yes, sir.
All right. First film. Ex-FBI agent Will Graham is an expert investigator who quit the Bureau after almost losing his life in the process of capturing the elusive Dr. Lecter. Years later, after a series of particularly grisly murders, Graham reluctantly agrees to come out of retirement and assist in the case. But he soon realizes that the best way to catch his killer, known as the Tooth Fairy, is to find a way to get inside the killer's mind, and the closest thing to that would be to probe the mind of another killer who is brilliant and equally twisted. This is directed by Brett Ratner, starring Anthony Hopkins, Edward Norton, Harvey Keitel, and Emily Watson from 2002, Red Dragon.
You want to know how he's choosing them, don't you?
I thought you might enjoy the challenge. Find out if you're smarter than the person I'm looking for.
Then how did you catch me?
You had disadvantages.
What disadvantages?
You're insane.
So it's true the Lecter's actually helping with your investigation.
We mustn't judge too harshly, Will. Have you never felt a sudden rush of panic?
Red Dragon. Oh, man. I really like that movie, actually. Who played the Tooth Fairy? The Tooth Fairy was played by the guy who played Voldemort.
I don't know.
What was his name?
I could look it
What
up
was the
if
guy's
it's
name
going to
that played
bother you.
Voldemort? Yeah.
Samuel L.
Yeah,
Jackson.
it was the pianist. Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes, yeah. That's it. Pew! I like the movie a lot. It was real weird where you had that relationship with that blind girl. That felt odd sometimes. I liked it a lot. Anthony Hopkins is always amazing.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, you're right. Like Sir Ben Kingsley. Yeah. Football!
Football-related ornaments.
I'm going to say I liked it a lot, so that says the critics did not, because that's how most movies go. I'm going to say that it was fresh, but just barely at 64%.
All right. Red Dragon is fresh.
Yep.
At 64%.
What? No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so now.
Oh wait,
I'm
wait, wait.
Negative. Wait.
Sorry, I did it again. It's 68%.
God damn it.
Sorry. I wrote yours. I wrote it down and then just read yours.
You're such an asshole. I got 4.
You got 4.
I got 4. That's still not bad, but it's not as good as -5. You son of a bitch.
And then for this one, Sir Anthony Hopkins showed up on the set during one of his days off just so he could watch Philip Seymour Hoffman work. The two actors shared no scenes in the movie. I just like to watch him work.
was fantastic.
Now hold this thought just for a moment. I gotta go let my dog out because she's crying, and I will be right back, so I don't have to clean up any more shit.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, I'm stuck. Stuck.
Oh no. Maybe you shouldn't trap yourself in your sweater.
Okay, be right back.
Okay. Six and a half hours later.
6.5 hours later.
It's because he left for a minute. He had to go let Brand Oh, weird.
All right, Papa Bear back.
Hey, Papa Bear. Samara just pushed her car right into Marie's toes.
She gonna get a ticket.
Oh man!
All right, so you're at 4 points
I'm at 4 points.
All right.
I'm doing that right this time.
in real time. Ready for your next film?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Two cops on the trail of a brutal serial killer must see as one, act as one, and think as one before the next victim
Single column has one.
Lincoln Rhyme is an intelligent forensic detective who was paralyzed in the line of duty. The author of several books, he has a keen eye for detail and clues that have made him a legend in the law enforcement community. This film is directed by Philip Noyce. Starring Denzel Washington, Angelina Jolie, Queen Latifah, Michael Booker, and Luis Goodman from 1999, The Bone Collector.
Before the next victim is chosen.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Doesn't that kind of look like a face?
Third piece of the puzzle.
I want Donaghy to go in first. She's not trained for this.
Amelia?
Hello? Oh, God.
Taxi!
This one's good. This one's good. You know what I want to know? How many interviews of Christopher Reeves do you think Denzel Washington watched to prepare for this role?
Several? I don't know.
I really like this movie a lot. This is one of which is real big. What?
You went like straight Matrix mode there and like lagged for a brief second.
Wow. I just saw it do a little black thing just now. It was like, pew. But anyway.
Sorry.
What was it? This was one of Angelina Jolie's first roles, wasn't it?
So it's 99, so she'd been around a little while.
Was she?
So I would say no, because she was in Hackers in like 89.
Oh, obviously. And A Girl Interrupted. You're right. Okay.
She'd seen some things by then.
Yeah.
Geely. No, wait, not Geely. Gia.
No. Geely.
What was
That
the movie that
movie's
she
so-
was naked in an awful lot?
I don't know.
Where she played the model. She got all
Tell me, so I don't have to watch it. What was the name of the movie that she was naked in all the time? Just so you know, I can avoid it.
What movie was Angelina Jolie? Yes, for science. He's naked in that starts with pretty sure it's G. Gia.
I don't think you need to put starts with just.
It was.
Gia sounds right.
God, she's done a lot of movies. Gia, that was correct.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Thanks, Google.
That was a fun 2 minutes. That's what she said.
LMGTY.
Hey. So I like this movie a lot. It had a much stronger first half than it did the second half, though. I'm going to say this one is fresh as well. 73%. Don't read my score this time.
I promise I won't. The
dick.
Bone Collector was quite rotten at 28%.
Ooh.
So that's 55 points.
Yeah. No, 45 points. I said 73.
Oh, I just punched
That's
the
fine.
shit out of my microphone. Let's treat that, however.
Yeah, take it out on the mic.
45 points, you're correct.
So 49 is what I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Now, Angelina Jolie has admitted in interviews that she shot multiple nude scenes for this film, but director Philip Noyce cut them, feeling that they
Noyce.
distracted from the story.
Kept
Philip
them for
Noyce,
his own personal reel.
and he has that at home. Noyce is a dick.
He is a dick.
Yeah, Swall says he just wanted to shoot her naked is all.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this is going in the spank bank.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna need to do that one again. And again. One more time.
Lighting.
Yeah. I don't like the audio on that one. Let's do it again. And one more time.
We're gonna need multiple angles on this one.
Shot individually.
Let's get the bonus cam in there.
Mm-hmm. This is for extended scenes. And one more time for the director's cut. Personally mine. All right, you ready for your next film?
Yes.
Kids at home, are you ready for your next film?
Yes.
All right, well, since you responded
Kids at
so
home.
nicely.
Michael Jackson, apparently.
Mickey Mouse.
Ah.
All right, an FBI agent persuades a social worker who is adept with a new experimental technology to enter the mind of a comatose serial killer in order to learn where he was hidden his latest kidnap victim. This one was directed by Raja Gosnell, starring Jennifer Lopez, Vince Vaughn, Dylan Baker, and Jake Weber. Also, Vincent D'Onofrio from Law and Order Criminal Intent.
And also Full Metal Jacket.
Mainly just Law and Order Criminal Intent, though.
No.
From 2000, The Cell.
The first few minutes will be very disorienting. Remember to stay calm and focused.
I also really like this movie, but I know for a fact nobody else did. Like, it was not received very well at all, from what I remember. And, but it was so well done, and so, like, the visuals on it were really good, but the plot itself was confusing as shit. But I remember the scene where Vincent D'Onofrio suspends himself with hooks before that was really a mainstream thing that was done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He puts hooks in himself, dips this lady's body in bleach, pulls it out, masturbates on it. It's like, what the fuck?
Vigorously.
Yeah, real angrily. You hear chains clanking around and you're like, ooh, this is uncomfortable. And, because he could, man, yeah, I remember, like, the pulling on his back. I was like, ooh,
a little icky.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this was rotten 27%.
This film was indeed rotten.
Mm-hmm. It's probably lower. It's
Darth,
probably like 12.
Darswall says 40. The Cell is rotten at 45%.
This is one of my worst games ever.
So what's that? Another 18 points?
Yeah. I think. I don't remember what I guessed.
That's 18. You said 27%.
Oh, I did.
And then for this one, Vincent D'Onofrio, the guy from Law and Order Criminal Intent, later admitted that, just Law and Order Criminal Intent, later admitted that his wife refused to sleep in the same bed with him for 2 weeks after seeing his performance in the movie.
Yeah. It's also, I'm sure, completely unrelated that he had to grow his hair out for those hair horns. That Put that picture right there because it's hilarious and I like it a lot.
An FBI profiler is called in by French Canadian police to catch a serial killer who takes on the identity of each new victim.
Ooh.
This one's directed by DJ Caruso, starring again Angelina Jolie, Ethan Hawke, and Kiefer Sutherland. From 2004, Taking Lives.
My son was a deeply, deeply disturbed person. How can I explain to you how dangerous he was?
She's not a cop. She doesn't need evidence, doesn't need facts. All she needs is a murder site and a body, and that's all we have.
Special Agent Scott?
There hasn't been a murder like this in years.
The smashing of the face and the cutting off the hands. It's the sexual element.
Look, I'm doing my best here. That man's face was half gone. I saw the man who did this, okay? I saw him, and I can show you what he looks like.
Could that be your son?
It could be.
Taking lives. That's what Martin Asher's been doing for almost 20 years. His first victim, he covered it up with a car accident to fake his own death, and then he took the boy's identity.
It's him!
After all these fun games we've been playing, all this time that I've put into it, you have something that I want.
I remember this one, kind of. I know I've seen it a couple times.
Do you remember when he stabs her in the stomach?
Vaguely. Vaguely.
But it wasn't a real stomach, it was like a ball. It's at the end.
I don't remember that part.
It was good.
Oh, wait, yes, I do, because she was pretending to be pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh, this song sounds like shit.
This movie was... okay. I'm going to say this one was also rotten. And I'm going to say it was at 41%.
Taking Lives, Darthwall says 60. He liked this one. Taking Lives was, again, rotten. But how rotten was it? Some may say, well, are we talking like Boondock Saints rotten? Or are we talking like...
Still so upsetting. What was Boondock Saints again? 18?
22.
Ugh, no better.
Well, not only is it rotten, it is rotten at the exact same score as our favorite movie of all time, Boondock Saints, at 22%. So you gain another 19 on that one.
Shit go of it. Shit go of it.
You're having a bloody game on this one.
I really am.
And despite being third billing, Kiefer Sutherland was actually only had
Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Yeah, it's only 17 lines and just over 3 minutes of actual screen time in this movie. I'll take what they can get.
I remember that as well.
All right, Darswall, you're having a rough game too. This is a big one. This one was actually really hard for me to do because both IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes both have this spelled wrong. And I was like, maybe I'm just spelling it wrong, but I'm like, nope, I know how to spell this because it's one word. And I learned how to spell it early on. Nope, it was very prominent. And let's get into it. Two detectives, a rookie and a veteran hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. Directed by David Fincher, starring Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, and Kevin Spacey from 1995. 7.
Detective William Somerset is looking for a way out.
You're retiring. 6 more days and you're all the way gone.
So how long have you lived here?
Too long. Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending every waking hour together from now until the time I leave. I'll show you who your friends and enemies are. Look, I've worked homicide 5 years. Not here. There are 7 deadly sins. Gluttony.
You're going to come take a look at this?
Greed.
No one touches anything.
Sloth. Wrath. Pride. Lust. And envy. 7. You can expect 5 more of these.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece.
Hey!
Let's finish it.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? His face, man, when he's holding that gun to...
He's such a good actor.
Like, yeah, he's so good.
Like, he's really upset about this right now.
Yeah,
Did they not tell him what's in the box?
Yeah.
Is he just mad because he didn't get the script? What's wrong? Who hurt you, Brad?
I loved this movie. Intensely so. So much so that I watched it
repeatedly?
Repeatedly. Several times over. And I watched it all the way through, pausing at certain scenes, like when they show that brief Polaroid of the bladed dildo. I was like, ooh, that would hurt a lot, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then...
I did. I fucked her. I
did it. I fucked her. That guy, I don't even know his name, but he plays that guy in every movie that I've seen him.
And he's so good.
A sobbing, uncontrollably, definitely broken man. Like, that's he is typecast as that guy. And
he kills it every single time.
Every single time. Lita, welcome in. Yes.
Will Lita finally show up?
She did, yeah.
Welcome.
Marie and the wee baby Samara are decorating the tree behind me. Marie's clearly, or Samara, the wee baby Samara, is clearly being very helpful.
She's got a lot of opinions on it.
She does. She does. She's like, I wanted a Hanukkah bush.
Where's my fucking menorah? Abelheim.
Oh man, I couldn't think of any fun words to say. I'm uncultured. But 7.
Come on, man, get your Hebrew on.
Very, very, very good. One of my favorite movies of all time.
So we had to say it like that. That's how we're gonna say it.
That's how I said it. If you could add some echoes on there in post, really, really appreciate that.
Done and done. I know how to do that.
Do you really?
I do.
That's awesome.
I'm amazing.
You're so good at this.
Thanks again for that software. It made everything easier.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, baby girl. I could eat a peach for hours. I'm gonna say that one's fresh for sure and certified. So I'm gonna say 94% because that movie was damn near perfect. Kevin Spacey didn't show up until 3/4 of the way through the movie, but I love Kevin Spacey and just everything about that movie, top to bottom, fucking fantastic. So
did you like K-Pax?
I really did, actually. It took me a long time to watch that movie, and then because I was like, this doesn't seem interesting to me at all, and then I watched it, and it was entertaining. I liked it a good chunk. Did you?
Yeah, I love K-Pax. Actually, I kind of like anything. I like anything that Kevin Spacey's in.
So do I. Oh, it's so upsetting, right?
I've never seen a movie with Kevin Spacey that I didn't like. Ever.
Me either.
He got Me Too'd, right?
He did get Me Too'd. There was, he carried that one
by
kid
like a wee lad.
Yeah, when he was a wee lad, and they just was like, "What's happening?" He's like, "Don't worry about it." And then that was it, I think. But it was just the implication. It was the implications. If you've watched It's Always Sunny, but the implication.
I don't watch that show nearly enough.
No, it's really good. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Okay.
They talk about taking women out on a boat, and he's like, they're not really afraid, but you know, the implication. This is women alone with some strange men on a boat. Fucking Max, like, are you talking about raping these women? No, not at all, not at all. But the implication. Wow. Fucking good. But yeah, 94%. Sorry, ran it in.
It's fresh. But how fresh do you ask? Maybe it's only 60% fresh. Maybe it's a perfect 100. It's happened both ways. But in reality, it's only fresh at 81%, giving you another 13 points. Now the real question is, did Brad Pitt bring his own ties for the movie? Brad Pitt did bring his own ties for this movie because he wanted Mills to have a poor fashion sense. All right, let's bring out the old trusty calculator for this one, and let's add them up. Why is this so fucking big?
Wouldn't Paltrow actually start like bumping uglies after this movie?
I hope so. Because good for
I want to
them.
live in the world where that happened.
I'm just gonna assume it did. All right, so we had 13 points from 7. You started off so strong.
Actually broke his arm in this movie.
Yep,
Also.
he got some lacerations in that car chase.
Yeah, when he was chasing Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
They wore that thing on his hand.
Then they wrote it into the film because he actually hurt himself.
Yeah.
Plus 45, that's tough.
That was tough. I'm under 100, I think.
Oh,
But
are you?
not by much.
You are
Yes.
under 100. At 99.
So good at this game.
13, 19, 18, 45, and 4.
Mm.
God, that was half your points in that one movie.
Yeah, that 45. What was that again?
45 was The Bone Collector. You thought it was 73 when it was in fact 28.
Ugh.
Oh, let's make that smaller for a second.
Terrible. Any movie, so we know this right now. Any movie where Denzel Washington does not get up and walk for the majority of the movie, rotten. 100% rotten.
Actually, I think Angelina Jolie doesn't do very well with the critics. Should we investigate that? Should we make a new rule? Let's find out.
I think you're right, though. I can't think of.
I don't think they like her.
Girl Interrupted, I think was okay, but she wasn't a main character. She was a supporting cast. The movies essentially, Tomb Raider didn't do well.
Well, Tomb Raider's.
Oh no, because Maleficent, that one did well. That would be the one to gauge it off of, I think. Because that
Maleficent, both of the Maleficent movies were rotten. Spoiler alert. They were both rotten.
Were they?
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So yeah, then that's probably a good rule of thumb.
She had a string of movies in the mid 2000s that were all fresh. Mighty Heart, Beowulf, Kung Fu Panda, Wanted, just like Darth Swall says. Oh, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Curve the Bullet. Oh yeah, Gone in 60
Salt,
Seconds.
Kung Fu
I thought
Panda.
that was a good movie, but Deja Vu was good. Deja Vu was. I like that movie actually. That was another Denzel Washington movie. I don't remember the plot much, but I remember watching it and being like, I really fucking like this movie.
Yeah, a vast majority of her films are really bad. Want to find Deja Vu? Or is that a?
She's not in that.
That was
That's
a Denzel.
Denzel Washington. Yeah, it's not a
Oh, okay.
Angelina Jolie film.
Her best one was Gia, actually, at 92%.
Yeah, well there you go. What was Girl Interrupted at? Like 81?
Finding it.
Getting an extra guess in there. Try to get conditioned.
Rotten.
Really?
54%.
No shit. I actually
They don't
that
like
movie.
her.
They don't. Well, it was more Winona Ryder in that one, if I remember right.
Hackers is at 33%.
Oh, fucking Hackers.
That's some bullshit right there.
64 megs RAM.
That was a lot. In 1995.
It was. only the strong will survive.
Yeah, they don't like her.
Mm-mm. Sorry about clearing my throat right in your ear holes.
It's okay. I have a limiter on you.
Good.
You will never blow my eardrums out.
Good. That makes me happy.
Anyway, that's a Rotten Tomatoes game. How'd you guys do?
There it is.
Darthwell choked pretty hard.
Did he? What was Darth's score?
He didn't do all of them, so he doesn't qualify as a score. But he didn't suck as hard as you did.
Well, that's true. I've got a technique to it, you know. But yeah, how'd you guys do? Let us know down in the comments.
Leave us a comment, like, and subscribe.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, I fucking sang it. Now you have to. There's contracts here.
But we'll go ahead and reel it in. Yeah, this has been the first of our 3-part mini-series, Homicides for the Holidays.
Homicide for the Holidays. Yes, sir.
And, yeah, so come back, tune in next week for our their second murderous edition of Homicide for the Holidays.
Do you want to give them a little sneak peek of who we'll be talking about?
Sure.
Hang on a second.
You gotta look it up. Okay, I thought you had this. Like
I did. I closed it. Hang on. I have it right here, though.
Oh, good.
Nope,
Wow.
That's not it. Hang on.
This has been really convenient.
This is probably our best put together show.
Yeah.
Next one we'll be doing is Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
I know nothing about that one.
He's
I'll
a truck
do some
painter.
research. Don't give it away now. I have to do research, which is fun. But yeah, whatever you guys are getting into this week or have gotten into this last week, I hope it treated and found you well. We are here as always for your entertainment. Feel free to shoot us a like, share, and subscribe. Get us out to the people of the world, of your worlds. Let us seduce their brain holes and coax their cerebellums, and get right in there. Just let us plant our seeds right in there and nest.
Remember when you used to be like really nice and talk about like mental health briefly, and now you're talking about raping ear holes?
I still talk about mental health a little bit sometimes. I did last week. This week I'm just talking.
My mom's
about,
like, he's such a sweet boy, and she's gonna be like, I don't like that. That's all right. You're adopted.
But I am. I know it makes me happy. I have been SuttySmash. This has been
Bloody the Elf. Just reminding you guys, keep it posy.
Have a good one. I mean, I did have that sock that you could just break in half when it was just crumble into dust.
Is that what happened? Did Marie sit on the sock?
You're hilarious. Bam. All right.
Just for the end cut.